Haunted Minds, ladies and gentlemen. We are in Group B, the Nations Cup. We're continuing. 28 teams signed up from 17 different countries. And now we have UK against Sweden. It's going to be a good one. Keep in mind, we got draft rules here. Every single hero can only be picked once within a series. And currently we have 7 groups with 4 teams each. The first seed out of every group after we finish the round robin within a group advances directly to the next round of the tournament. That obviously then advances 7 teams in total. And the 8th team is being determined as we're looking at all of the second place teams in the groups. And we're going to let them play it out in the last chance qualifier for that final spot for the second round of the tournament. We got best of 3s in our hand right now. And the group so far has been absolutely awesome. And for this series, I'm again not alone. I'm once again casting with Trixler.
Hi, what he said. I'm here, I'm hanging out. We're at Haunted Minds, which was the second map. I remember it fondly that I saw when I first played Heroes of the Storm. Can you guess what my first map was that I played?
Cursed Hollow.
Dragonshire against Mike Morheim himself. And I was a young Budley at the time, so I tried as hard as I possibly could. It was a good time, man. It was a good time.
Team getting all sweaty while trying to take Mike down.
Yeah, and back then, you don't probably know this, but Vala, before the game was released, her passive was that on every 3 attacks, she actually did a ensnare on people. She put a net on them.
I don't think that was ever in a public build.
No, that was not in a public build. That was before the game released, and then of course it was like destroying everybody in real matches, so they got rid of it.
When they released Vala, that was the old school multi-shot days. Do you remember that?
Yes.
That build got nerfed very quickly as well because I played nothing else. Just carpet half the screen with your multi-shots, like making them bigger and bigger, cooldown reduction and all. It was awesome, but yeah, they nerfed that into the ground very quickly.
Okay, well, into this draft, we can reminisce about old hero designs back in the day, if you guys would like. In fact, Khaldor and I are supposed to do a podcast at some point. That'd be a fun topic. Yarella is the first pick for Haunted Minds. Great, I would think, in theory, for this map. Her being able to rotate that level 7 talent, giving her an instant mount would be fantastic for going up and down. And then Sylvanas and Malthael.
Yeah, like, again, Haunted Minds, we talked about this the last time that we had the map on. Again, Sylvanas is being picked, and I think it is Team Sweden that keeps picking the map. They picked now Haunted Minds for the second time, and they're playing Sylvanas here. So, Sylvanas is so good on Haunted Minds because you don't have to go into the mines. You can push at the top. Yeah. And I am actually surprised that she doesn't get banned or locked in faster than that. I have to assume that the UK watched the game that Sweden played before. So they apparently are okay with it. They say, we can deal with this, and I guess we're going to find out.
Well, they do get Genji, and Genji is pretty darn good at deleting characters that are maybe by themselves attempting to push and whatnot, so perhaps that is going to be their answer for that. And it is Nano on top of Genji, and I feel like Nano is one of those characters that are people that every time I see this guy playing, he's usually popping off in some way or some form.
Wait,
so I'm assuming he will be playing well.
That is not Nano. That is
Nano?
That is one of Nano's accounts, but that's not Nano. Nano is Spanish.
Oh my gosh.
So they have, I think this is probably Taichessa. I'm not 100% certain on this, but they have usually this thing going on where I think someone at some point gave somebody an account. So they're playing with that. But yeah, that's a little bit confusing, but this isn't Nano.
To Blizzard jail!
To Blizzard jail. Immediately. Cancelled. Right away. Unacceptable. How could they?
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we'll see how this Nano does. I'll try and remember their authentic name when you introduce them later on. Rhaegar and Anubrak will be the 3rd and 4th pickup here on the far right. Looking at this composition right now, I'm feeling pretty good about our right team, as that is looking pretty standard. Sergeant Hammer and Anduin coming in for our 4th and 5th pickup.
So it's Hammer time. They're trying to siege up on them as best as they can. And then over on the right side, I mean, we already have a dive with Anubarak, and you just need somebody else to help you following that up. So we'll see how they're going to make that work. But right now, this is going to still get pretty interesting here. Because, I mean, just looking at this, you could really especially with Chromie now. You can really control Sergeant Hammer here. So this is going to be an interesting one. Again, best of 3 series. This is a really close group. We had some insane games here. So far, Team France is probably doing the best out of all of the teams in Group B, but even they are not guaranteed yet to get out of it. So let's see how Sweden and UK are going to fare here on our first map of the series, ladies and gentlemen. Haunted Mines, let's go. Team UK in blue on the left side of our first game in the best of 3 series with Cascon on Tyrael. We got Coffee on Sergeant Hammer with the advanced artillery. Devs is playing Anduin, and then we got Taichessa playing on the account Nano with Genji, also known apparently as not Nano, and Vented Sun on the Goat playing Urel.
On the far right, our red team, Mr. Tycho playing Sylvanas. Hanzuka, a favorite name by Mr. Khaldor, is playing Rhaegar. Time Bullet on a Nubarak, who is on Chromie, and Starzerg playing Malfuel.
Yeah, we need those Hanutas. I actually haven't had Hanutas in a long time because it's more of a children's thing. At least, like, that's what I had, you know, when I was a kid. But when you visit me the next time in Spain, I will make sure to get some Hanutas. Not only to show them to you, but also because it's a fantastic excuse for me to get some. So it's going to be a win-win right there.
I like that you use me as an excuse for children-like behavior. Nice. Thank you, Khaldor. Appreciate it.
I just need an excuse to get, like, a bit more chocolate. Right now
I'm down, bro.
I'm in full training mode right now, getting ready for races. So every single time that I get weak and I buy myself some chocolate, I feel bad afterwards. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of not the time to do it, but I just have to. Oh, also,
it will be that. Oh, hang on here, Mr. Tycho are taking that pressure from not Nano right now as he's trying to get on top of that. Sylvanas takes a decent beating, gets low on HP, but so does Time Bullet, and actually, poor Nubarak gets taken down as we're going to have our first kill of the game.
Yeah, Sweden is losing in Ubarak and therefore first blood for UK. Quick reminder as well, if you're just now tuning in for the first time into the Nations Cup, that the numbers behind the teams indicate essentially 2 things. First of all, wait a second, seems like, yep, Tyrael goes down. There's the counter kill. So first of all, the number behind the team indicates that we have multiple teams signed up for their specific country. For Sweden, for example, we have 3 teams participating here, and the number also indicates the seed. So the UK team is, at least on paper, the strongest team from the UK, whereas from the 3 Swedish teams that signed up, this is kind of the weakest team, at least when you're just looking at the players themselves. And the way those seedings have been put together is that we actually asked the players, all these teams obviously scrimming, practicing, training, and we asked the players how they would rate certain teams, and that essentially then formed the seeding, influenced it heavily. So there can still be a lot of upsets. We could see Sweden 2 or Sweden 3 outperforming Sweden 1. That could easily happen here, but just so you guys know how those numbers come to pass, what they actually signify, just to have a bit of an idea here. As we are having a quick pause, very early on, 2 minutes in.
We have a kitchen hazard going on. What? A kitchen hazard? You can't just type that. What kind of kitchen hazard? Are the knives walking around? Are they talking to people? Is there a fire? Did the SpaghettiOs explode?
I mean, to me that sounds just that somebody forgot their pizza in the oven. That would be a kitchen hazard to me.
That would be a kitchen hazard. Yeah, I do agree. You smell burnt, and you're like, no, not my cheese.
Like, no.
Well,
you know, you went for a pepperoni pizza. All of the pepperoni are black now, and it's just like, damn.
Yeah, I do not like a burnt pizza, man. Like I like a nice crispy one where it's just like starting to brown. But if you have any black on top of your pizza, man, I'm out. I do not like that flavor in any way, shape, or form. So hopefully all is well.
I hope so
for
too.
that kitchen hazard.
This is actually a good moment. Also, as a reminder, guys, we still have our hot butter through cheese merch, so you can check out the link in the description to have a look there. And why this vibes so well with the kitchen hazard is we have an apron. Did you actually know that? We have a hot butter through cheese apron that we put in as a joke. Rob actually insisted on making that a thing. And all of a sudden, it becomes one of the best sellers in the merch store. It's absolutely ridiculous. If you have a hot butter through cheese apron, no kitchen hazards for you. Just saying, guys. So if you haven't checked the shop out yet, definitely do so. There's a link in the description. Tim is speechless. Nothing to add there. He's just sitting there. He's just like, wow, they got an apron. That's insane.
Aprons are where it's at, man, okay? All right? Cool. Awesome. Good to hear. I would be getting one of those aprons for sure, and I bet it would look good on anyone in the chat,
Dude,
so pick one up.
Rob is happy every single time that he sees somebody has gotten an apron. It's like you're playing a hero with a quest reward and things. Every time he gets a ding, he's like, "Look, I told you, it's awesome!"
Well, speaking of dings, we're going to see another pick as both Sylvanas and Rhaegar go down. And for those of you that are wondering, how do I deal with a Sylvanas? This is one of the ways to do it. You get a Genji, you get some kind of fast character, and you jump on them consistently and put pressure on them and force the entire team to turn around and keep her alive. And so far, the UK team, #1 seed, is doing a fantastic job of doing just that. And with the, oh god, skulls being available, I almost said seeds, for the bottom portion of the Hana Mines being available, they are going straight for them and starting to collect.
The one thing really about the UK team is also that they had a fantastic series against the French, who are right now in the top spot of Group B. So they seem to be very, very strong here. The Swedish team had a great showing against the Germans previously, even though they lost the series. But right now, this is going to be a fierce battle. Hanzuka, though, gets eliminated, and that's the 4th kill now for Team UK. They follow it up with another one against Sylvanas and are just chasing the meatballs towards the right side of the map, back towards the fort. That's a great showing for the team from Great Britain.
And both times that I have seen Genji in matches, there was a game earlier where Germany had Genji, and now we have him again here for Team UK. And it looks like just the amount of CC is not here to lock him down. Commonly in the past, we would see characters like double support. You would see like an Uther or whatnot. Those point-and-click stunts can be fantastic. A Nubrak is going to be an option later on at level 10, but I don't know if they're going to be in a solid spot for that, because right now, Team UK is just running with the game right now as Star Zerg is trying to walk away. Coffee is chasing him down on Hammer. I don't know if he'll be able to get to him here. Here we go. Cask on, might have the Druin, turret goes in, and there is going to be the pick.
I like the optimism, though, and I like that he's trying. He didn't give up. He just went with it. The one thing that I find interesting, though, is like, you look at the draft, and the first thing that we thought about is like, okay, how are they going to deal with Hammer? And you expect the blue team to play a more static game, you know, sieging up, going in with Hammer, as they do right now. But they played such a great game, even before Sergeant Hammer had access to a level 7 and could use the Hover Siege mode, that I think Sweden was caught off guard here. They were thinking that they are the ones, you know, unleashing Chromie, getting the damage in, the poke, and instead, the UK just moved in and forced them into team fights, and they're losing one after another. It's 9 kills to 1.
I think Sweden's been very surprised about Cascon here playing on Tyrael. Tyrael, while he is a tank, he's actually more of a bruiser slash upfront damage. A Druin straight into a smite does a lot of damage, and having Genji follow that up has been paying off in dividends so far. And now, at 5 minutes, no, 6 minutes here, this fort is down to half HP already. Starzerg did run down to the bottom portion and grab as many skulls as they could, but with that boss speed available and 10 about to connect for Team UK, I could see them running down there, grabbing that boss, and starting a major march down the lanes.
If they are now going for the boss, then they can still get the superior number. Sweden has locked in 44, so this is already pretty decent for them. But as you already pointed out, forts have lost hit points, and a lot of them. Not only at the bot lane, but also at the top of the map. Now we have level 10, and just look at that gap in experience. It's ridiculous. It's more than 2 levels, and we're only 6.5 minutes in. So now we're talking about Judgment with a follow-up on X-Strike, for example. The BFG as an added damage source, too. They can snipe heroes easily at this point.
Yeah, Rhaegar's going to have to really lock in and make sure he's landing those cleanses available to him. Malthael at the same time is probably going to be able to level 13 talent to make sure that he can get his cleanse, to watch out for this firepower coming in. But you're right now, that talent advantage is going to really be a major pain in the rear. And this aggression does not stop. Already we have Yrel leading the charge, chasing down this Malthael. There's the light bomb. Cleanse comes out just in time from Hanzuka. Well done to Poraloop coming out. It's going to be a focus on the target, and Genji is going to walk away. But now the blue team should be able to rotate down to the bottom lane with a few of these abilities being used, clear out that wave, and look to push these lanes once again.
They were really trying to force that kill too, so that backfired a little bit. You have to be careful. I mean, you have a huge advantage, but if you're too aggressive and you're risking too much, then it might backfire. Because every single kill that the red team now gets gives them a huge chunk of experience because of that underdog bonus that we have in the game. But they will soon lock their own level 10, and we already have access to it through Chromie, of course. But now the forts will soon fall. It's just interesting to me that the blue team never really made any moves to try and go for the boss, so it seems that they are totally willing to ignore that for most of the time. And it now even leads the Swedish team to just move in and try and take it with Marthael alone. So he's going solo against the boss as the first fort has fallen.
It's so funny to watch Malthael in his form of combat, which is just not auto-attacking unless he has to replay his mark, chitin that boss. Here comes a judgment. Immediate cleanse. Hanzuka has been on point. Light Bomb, though, straight on top of the Chromie. And Chromie will be picked off. She's down for 20. BFG, Mr. Tycho trying to haunting a wave. Can he get out? He certainly can. But Sergeant Hammer sieges up and wants to start working on this wall.
They realized also that the UK just has no interest in that boss, at least not in the first one, so they don't care. They finally sent somebody down, trying to capitalize on Starzerk going solo against the boss. They want the kill here, and the golem can now be eliminated, and that will still be a fairly decent golem for the blue team too. But Sweden is struggling to get to level 10. They really are. This is such a huge gap that we had previously because all of the kills that the blue team got, that they had such a big window of opportunity here. And now, finally, the red team more or less on eye level since they're able to pick up their heroic abilities.
Yeah, this goes to really show on two-lane maps how important every single minion, every single Merc camp is as you try to get up that experience level. Just the Team UK being able to grab this lead early has just paid off so darn much. Now, the Golems is 56-2-44 at the moment. Top fort will be the main focus for our blue team with that Golem pushing forward, and as long as they have Sylvanas here, they don't mind going for this trade on the fort. Meanwhile, Malthael setting up on the bottom lane. Here comes a judgment into a light bomb. Ancestor healing on the target as well. Cocoon comes out on Genji to try and lock him down. Hanzuka trying to escape. Temporal loop even being used at the same time. X-Ray comes out, giving him the unstoppable, and with the protected, he'll be able to dodge out on the damage coming in from Chromie. So a big trade in ultimates, and the Golem continues.
Yeah, they're looking really strong here, and with Sergeant Hammer coming in, they can of course technically siege up on this too. They decide against it. They got level 13 talents already. So the golem at the bottom of the map, that's still a pretty decent golem. The problem is, of course, it's an early game golem. So it doesn't really have as much push power yet. It's not like we're 20, 25 minutes into the game. But the control of the map so far is in the hands of the blue team, for sure. But that's still a decent amount of damage for Team Sweden. That's more that they were able to do throughout the remainder of the game here.
13-11, so that 2-level lead here for Team UK, grabbing the Zappas so they can have them pushing in the bottom and the top side as well. Would like to see somebody hanging out with those minion waves just to make sure that they are maybe moving forward and open up that keep, because if you can get to the keep walls here, that golem just gets a little bit more dangerous. Now, with that all being said, Team Sweden, after a rough early game, I will give them commends of being able to get to that. Oh, hang on here, as there's going to be a light bomb. Genji jumps onto a target, and poor Malthael knew it was over. He just cleared out the wave instead. I was going to say, Team Sweden has been doing a solid job at least staying in the game despite their talent disadvantage, but they got to watch out for this combo that's coming in from Team UK. It is starting to get really deadly.
It's an absolute banger for them. I mean, they're sitting at 13 kills right now, so 13-1, and they are dishing out the pain. 27,000 damage from Genji is the top dog in the game thus far, with Sylvanas coming in second place on 25k, and then you have, of course, Sergeant Hammer. But they're just relentlessly pinning them down in their own base, sieging up here, and making it nearly impossible for the Swedish team to break out of this. 16 is one level away still, but the talent advantage is already there for the blue team. And they are, I mean, they're not letting them get out of their base, basically. They have the watchtower control here, they have heroes at the top lane, they control the bot lane with minions, and they're not allowing them to get anywhere, while they still have their own heroes looking for the next camp. And these little pushers on isolated heroes at the side. Starzerk died early at the top, now he gets caught at the bottom of the map. We have the Judgment engaged, and it's just too much for him to handle.
Sun trying to escape here, goes for the knockback, low on HP, and is gonna get picked off, and you know what that means, Khaldor. It's time for a goat fat. Goats dislike water and would rather leap over streams and puddles than step in them, as we lost Urel.
Really?
Yeah, interesting,
Goats
right?
hate
Think they'd be
water.
okay with water. They're not a fan of touching it, apparently. Don't like that wet fur.
Okay. Fair enough. Didn't know that.
What? Time Bullet's looking for a little bit more here. Gets healed at the last second. Hanzaka's able to keep him alive. Will they try to go for a burrow charge? Tyrael able to use the Eldruin to escape the entire fight. And with that kill, that experience is closing the gap. Technically, in terms of talents, they are even right now, but that 16 is lurking right around the corner for Team UK.
It's a race now. Just run, boys. They're trying to control. Oh, they're actually getting the mind control connected. Oh, but they can't get the kill. Genji is still able to get away as they're all jumping towards the top, but the red team is for once in the driver's seat. Everybody's low on the blue team side. They're trying to get a counter kill, and Rhaegar falls, but Genji gets also murdered a second ago. Typical Genji play. Doesn't care if he dies. It's just looking for the next kill.
Okay, so the 4 members for Sweden run to the bottom here, and Cascon just leaves the charge, jumps in with the judgment. Looks like he's willing to die for his team right now, keeping up with the damage here. Worst case scenario, he gets a trait value, but they don't even need it. There's a smite, there's some auto attack. Starzerg tries to walk away and applies a couple of heals here, but with the Anduin's Light coming in, it's going to be just enough for them to find another pick. Now the golems are going to be starting to be built up as the skulls are grabbed here by TV Coffee and crew. Sylvanas, meanwhile, is going to go ahead and start working on the sappers. She wants to try and get that fort so they can have something, but everything is getting more dangerous as the timer continues to climb up. We're going to be about 14 minutes, and remember, when it comes to Heroes of the Storm, a lot of the objectives in the game do scale up with the amount of time that the game has gone forward in terms of health. So this will be a little bit more deadly compared to the one that we saw earlier.
It's actually a bit crazy that Tyrael survived throughout the entire attack there. As you said, it looked for a moment like he's just okay dying, but nope, he made it all the way. And now they have the level 16 talent advantage. They're getting even more pressure in at the bottom. Yeah, Sweden is desperately looking for kills, even though they're at a talent disadvantage, but they can't find any right now. 53 skulls already in the hands of Team UK. Here comes the light bomb engage once again, the BFG! And Sylvanas is dead. Sylvanas goes down, and they're trying to chase the rest of the team. Malthael doesn't have a single kill with his last rights yet, by the way. They're just getting cleaned up here. At least they were able to take out Sergeant Hammer, so that is something. Malthael traded his life for a kill.
Yeah, it was a 1-for-2 trade, and honestly, when you're getting trades at this level, when you're this far behind, you'll take anything you can get. If they can get a level 16, they will have a chance to at least have a fair fight, but look at the bottom right now. On the boss, both Genji and Anduin are already working on clearing that bad boy out, building up those skull stacks, and they should be able to grab those just in time for Sergeant Hammer to spawn up, and we're going to see a pretty massive push from that golem in the bottom lane, looking to grab that keep. And the poor red team, they're going to have a small itty-bitty golem.
Yeah, this is going to be a huge problem. It's not only the golem. You talked about scaling already a bit, but now we have a golem that will basically have 92% against 8%. The problem is you're going to have Sergeant Hammer pushing behind it. So it's going to be potentially even a death push from the blue team. The one glimmer of hope is that Sweden is finally on even talents again with their opponents. So they have level 16 talents. That's nice, but yeah, a kill would go a long way for them right now. If they're somehow able to jump onto a target, get a good isolation going, and a quick kill with last rights, that would help.
Nano already in position here for a possible dash into a light bomb. Anytime Genji shows up near Sweden, you're going to see them backing up. They have to wait for Genji to get the engage, and then Time Bullet with his web is going to have to nail the timing of his life. It is rough for him right now.
I have to point this out real quickly. This is not Nano. Call him not Nano, because Nano is Spanish. He can't play for that team. There's the mind control, and Coffee! He's dead. They get the kill against Sarge now. That's so important to get that kill here. This is huge. They lose Sylvanas, though. If they lose more, then it wasn't really worth it. But taking down Sergeant Hammer as they're attempting to stop that golem push, that's big.
Not Nano is able to find that Sylvanas, and here comes that golem. It's going to start walloping on top of that keep. Stars are just trying to find any last rights here, protected by the way, coming at the right time. And Devs also provides a heal, so he's going to be able to get away. And not Nano, he's not done yet. He walks in, finds another pick. Time Bullet gets slammed into the wall, gets hit with the Anduin stun as well. Excuse me, Root. And that is going to be 2 members picked off here for the red team. Keep finally goes down, and the question is whether or not they can push in for the core. It is a little bit more difficult with them not having a Sergeant Hammer, but with Hanzuka having to retreat to base, they might find something here.
And there's also the top keep that is essentially getting destroyed by Siege Giants right now. The Golem still at 50%. The shield is falling. The hit points are going down. This is going to be victory in game number 1. The BFG cross map flies in 25 kills to 21 kills to 5 as Team UK takes the lead in the best of 3 series. GG.
GG.
I hope all of you are enjoying the Nations Cup. We have an awesome event going on right now and it's lots of fun. Please keep in mind though that events like the Nations Cup, like the Bounty Cup and Meta Madness are only possible through private supporters, through Patreon supporters and through partnerships that we have on the channel, campaigns that we're doing with them. And right now we actually have a campaign going on that will last for quite a bit of time, and you can right now support the channel for free by just investing a couple of minutes. It's really just taking a moment. All you gotta do is follow the instructions in the description of the video, download Opera GX through the link that you can find in the video description, and then use the browser to watch a couple of YouTube videos, maybe watch the live stream, or just some general browsing. It's already supporting the channel immediately. Again, it's a very nice browser as well. It has an integrated VPN, which is of course super helpful. You have a lot of themes going on that are targeting gamers and lots of other features. Just experiment with it a little bit, use it in your daily for a bit, and that's all you gotta do to support the stream. It's super easy, super fast, takes a minute or two, and you support not only the stream here, but also future tournaments that we're going to host. So I would really appreciate it if you could use a couple of minutes of your time to do exactly that. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and enjoy the rest of the tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to Inferno Shrines. Team UK is going up against Sweden. I can't do this. We can't go from me laughing about this shit into me introducing the game.
Welcome everybody to game number 2 on our best of 3 series. We are on the map Infernal Shrines. We have Team UK taking on Sweden number 3, and Team UK was electric in game number 1. We saw a Sergeant Hammer composition that out-rotated a Sylvanas comp. It was wild to witness, and we're hoping they bring that energy into game number 2, and we'll have to see if whether or not Sweden, who is currently in trouble of potentially losing this series, if they can hold them back. Khaldor, take it away.
Talking about energy, the reason why we actually had a bit of a laugh coming into this is because some of the people watching this have a lot of energy and are very enthusiastic about their opinion. So I make this clear again. Nano is not the Nano. He's not Nano. He's Taichesa, and he is in fact English and is playing for Team UK here. And yeah, he's been playing on this particular account for 2 years or more. So just for everybody, we are aware who that player is. Everybody knows who that player is. They are not breaking any rules. Just to make this very clear, some people are.
We're all on the same page.
Enthusiastic. I think that guy just had a little bit of OCD. That's the beauties of the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, it must be Germans. There are rules and they need to be followed immediately.
There must be order. That was the funniest thing. When I first met Khaldor or whatever, like, we were having a discussion about something and there was some rule that was off, and he just like instantly went into his German voice. It was like, there must be order. It's still like a memory in my mind. That like anytime he like speaks in German, I'm brought back to that moment years ago, dude. Good times. Khaldor does have a sense of humor. He does.
Angie told me at some point, dude, if you are making any more jokes, you're not gonna go back home. The border's closed for you. We can't have that. A funny German, that is not okay.
Well, for game number 2, we do get our Johanna and Junkrat, a tried and true combination. In fact, I'm surprised we haven't been seeing it as much today, as the 2 brings a lot of wave clearing. You're gonna need that on Infernal Shrines. Dahaka brings in the globalness that you do love. Ooh, and ooh, a Thymane showing up for our second pick with a Jaina to bolster. I don't see many Jainas nowadays. Is that a because I don't play as much as I used to, or is because Jaina is someone that's actually pretty good? What's the analysis here, Khaldor?
I think it's a preference pick here. We see her occasionally, but usually like not that early, so yeah. But I'm looking at the portrait of Jojo and Junkrat, and I've never really noticed this. Does it look a little bit like the 2 are related? Junkrat could be the drug-addicted brother of Johanna.
Oh yeah, I could see that actually. Yeah.
I'm not quite sure if it's the nose or just the hair or the eyebrows, but like, I looked at the 2 of them and I was like, huh, that's the black sheep of the family right there.
There it is. Okay. Brightwing and I mean, every family's got one, right?
Yeah.
Well, you gotta accept them for who they are. They need love in their life. We all do. The Varian ban makes it a little bit harder for Jaina to follow up. Varian can be great for moving in for locking down a target if you want to try and delete a single target and have Jaina come in with the blizzard into a combo, so that makes sense as a ban being taken away. Blaze.
Jojo,
And Deckard
Blaze,
Kane.
and Deckard. Yeah, it's good stuff here too. I mean, Joanna and Blaze as a combo was always nice. This is Infernal Shrine, so the two of them work even better there. You have lots of AoE control on this. You have CC, slows that you can use. So this is a really nice lineup that UK is putting together for this map in particular. So good stuff by them. Sweden, I like the Haka. I think they have a lot of really good picks for themselves, preference picks. They are obviously the third team from Sweden, but now we get Tigers and we get Leo, which essentially means that they're playing a Leo main tank, and that's honestly where it's over for me. At that point, I'm just like, nope.
What are we doing, boys? I'm curious. This might be a side tangent. I have not seen Diablo in the, 4 casts that I've done? Where's Diablo gone?
We get plenty of Diablo, honestly, but it's just
okay,
like,
it's just been bad timing.
It's just like here, he's just missing Alarak as the final pick for Taichesa, and yeah, time to see what Sweden can do with this. This is going to get tricky for them, though. It's going to be really dicey, and if they lose here, that would mean they have 2 losses in the group, so that makes it very difficult to get out of the group, basically impossible. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting off to the races. Map number 2, Infernal Shrines between UK and Sweden. And we're off. Map number 2, everybody. Infernal Shrines. UK is in the lead. Over on the left side, we got Cascon on Johanna. Coffee on Junkrat. We got Vented Sun on Blaze. Taichesa, also known as Not Nano, is playing Alarak and goes into the extended Lightning on level 1. Always my favorite build. We get a lot of dings over here. And then we got Devsh on Deckard Kane.
To the far right in the red, Mr. Taiko on Tychus, Time Bull on Leoric playing a main tank Leoric, it looks like. Hanzuku on white main. Hanzuka? Why can I say this all of a sudden? Star Zerg on Nahaka, and who is on Jaina?
Hanzuku. Hanuku.
Brother. Hanuko! I have played too many games. You should play Street Fighter, by the way. That game is sick. Anyways.
Oh my god. Alright, let's see if the red team with their Leo main tank can make a play here. I'm actually still surprised that they went for this, and I am not a fan, I gotta admit. Leo main tank was a thing for a short period a couple of years ago where teams were experimenting with this. The idea is essentially that it's fine if Leo dies. You want to trade, you want to bait a lot of cooldowns out, but you are totally willing to die. So him dying isn't a problem as long as you're trading well and as long as you're powering your team to capitalize on that death with counter kills, good position, or whatever it is. So seeing Leo fall a few times and activating his trade, it's not going to be a disaster. He respawns quickly, he respawns on site, you don't have travel time, so there's a lot of advantages to this. So it's essentially a lineup, a team composition that is willing to sacrifice their part of the front line during team fights. But the results were never really all that great, and it kind of disappeared. So the Swedish team, they are trying to make this work. Obviously, there's a lot of preference picks involved for the team as well. Let's point that out right from the get-go, but we'll see. You know, maybe they can make this work and claim victory here.
We will have to see. I will have to admit to you that I did go through a Leoric main tank phase years ago. And I originally started doing it against Diablo in particular. The idea was if there was a main tank that did a hard engage afterwards and was hard for him to escape, I could put my creepy hand on top of him, soak his life, and win the trades in that regard. And I also really enjoyed it against high CC compositions because I could be in control of not worrying about my support having to use cleanse on me consistently. It can be relatively hard to pull off, but you do feel really good about it around level 13 when you get the extra W built into the stack. So we'll see if they're going to be going that route. But I do agree with you that it didn't really have the full results that I was looking for. There were some small niche cases worked out, but we'll see if they can pull it off here and gain number 2. And they kind of have to because they are currently down 1-0 and need this win.
Talking about stacks, we have In the Rhythm now for Taika, so he's really trying to extend the minigun duration. It's not necessarily the best build, it's not necessarily the strongest build. We've seen full-on focus into auto attack with Press the Advantage on level 1 over here. I'm interested to see how much he can get out of it, but I've seen a couple of games where Taikas, especially with Garrosh together, who can give him more time to get the minigun connected, has an insane amount. I think the Taikas game that I talked about there, he had like, I think he had like 500 stacks or something. It was essentially an endless minigun towards the end. It was brutal. It was absolutely insane. The damage was bonkers. So it can be really, really fun to go for that particular type of build. We'll see if he gets enough stacks here. It's important that you get in the first few minigun rotations at least a couple of stacks so that you can build on that and exponentially increase the numbers and the duration. But there's also a blind against you from the other side, so that might shut it down a little bit. But so far he's been doing okay.
Ooh, triangle coming down. Alaric pushes Tychus straight into that locked-in corner, and now we have a fight for the minions at the top for our shrine. Dahaka moving forward and trying to buy block here on the left, but was in the middle of using his Dark Swarm, so he actually was able to walk on through. Tung is about to be up and available, and Cascon's getting low on HP. Will be able to get the kill. Yes, they do! And suddenly, Sweden is finding their own picks. But Tychus gets booped into the fight as well, and with a grenade follow-up, that's going to be a 1-for-1 trade.
And the problem is it was a 5 versus 4. Blaze wasn't there. He was at the bot lane. They both now are level 7 talents, but this was all with the numbers advantage for Team Sweden. And now that we have Blaze appearing, they're obviously starting to have more problems with Starzerk becoming the next victim. And that is kill number 2 for the UK.
Looking like UK is going to be able to grab this Punisher Shrine here at the very, very top. It will be a Fire Punisher, which means they're not going to do too much damage. It will step up and give some decent DPS overall, but it should be relatively defendable. Usually on the first Punisher, the one that is the most terrifying is going to be the Frozen Punisher. It is expected to about have 50% damage on the fort, but let's see what they can do here as Time Bullet steps up and begins a defense.
Yeah. That could be a rough one. I mean, it's a Water Punisher, it's not a Frozen Punisher, but still, they went through the wall quickly. Now they go for Leon, try to drop him. And yeah, Leo goes away for now, but he's essentially out of the fight. And Tychus is moving in. Leo got healed and is starting to move back into it, but look how low Jada, for example, is, and the rest of the team is not looking too hot either. So they have to fall back here. Still a few minions to soak up the shots. Blaze misses the jet propulsion on the other hand, and all of a sudden Wented Sun was in some trouble, but they couldn't get the kill.
Wow, 80%, almost his entire fort going down. Impressive first push here for Team UK. You don't see that every single day, but they were able to pull it off, and it kind of comes down to not having your traditional tanks being able to hold that front line. Poor Leo just getting bullied out. Now Starzerk tries to soak up and build up for that level 10, but once again, exactly like in game number 1, Team UK takes a commanding lead and is going to hit 10 first.
Also, we have Tychesa with Alarak now on 20 stacks with him on 4. So he's already sitting at 17,000 damage, and that is a crazy amount of stacks this early. Well, not crazy. It's very strong. It's very, very strong to have 20 this quickly after essentially one big team fight. If he can build on this, then we are going to get some crazy numbers towards the end of the game. So Alarak is becoming a huge problem, especially since he can follow up on stuns from both Johanna and from Blaze after level 10 now has hit. So we have a lot of engage tools on the side of the blue team, which is going to make it very difficult for Sweden to approach these team fights now.
Yeah, I would be feeling my oats right now if I had that kind of stacking available on my Alarak. 11-9 right now, 10 about to occur. Time Bullet steps up, misses the Neo Peasant actually on top of these goats, but he did get the rest of the minions there. But these goats actually do a decent amount of damage to the forts in this map, as they're going to start shelling away, and the best part too is they outrange them, so they got to clear that up at some point. But poor Tychus was up in the top lane trying to maybe find a kill on Blaze early here, and this fort has been left all by itself. Jaina can't step up and do a blizzard with Nano, or not Nano, floating around. Unstoppable comes out, but there goes the fort, and another pick for Team UK, and they're looking to get some damage here on Time Bullet, who's trying to lead the charge.
Drill time as Tychus flanks in, drops the drill. They still have the trap on Alarak. They're trying to take him down and get the sadism removed, and they get that kill. Leo sacrifices himself here, but that's a trade that they're willing to take, and now even more stacks for Tychus, who has done well so far. 47 on his level 4, and he gets the damage in. Really nice connects from Mr. Tycho here. And finally, we're having Sweden with a bit of success in these battles. They're starting to look for the next kill. The Haka still on the prowl. They're moving in for Deckard Cain. The body block is there. The mace to the face from Leo, and that is the end of the old geezer.
Wow, Time Bullet and Stars are really working well together. Time Bullet was able to move forward, get the Neo Peasant, slow down a couple of targets, amazing into him, and Stars came flying in with that extra speed on Dahaka and helped find a tongue to get a kill. And of course, with them being able to rotate in the middle lane, they found another one on Deckard Cain. Also, we have Rocket Ride for Junkrat. Is that pretty common nowadays, or are we in for a preference choice?
Definitely is not common these days.
Okay, I just wanted to check, man. So I'm not up to the matter right here.
But I'm always a fan.
Very unique.
I'm a very big fan of Rocket Ride. It is a fun one to watch. Is it the better one of the two? Probably not. But whenever a team is willing to try it out, I'm here for it. I gotta say, there's a level lead and a talent advantage now for the blue team, but they're losing Junkrat immediately as the fight starts. The counter kill against Jaina is something they can't prevent though, but this is going to get wild here. We have lots of stacks for Tychus, and we have in addition to that now also Alarak back to business. Jet propulsion on Hanzuka, and still alive and cannot be killed.
Wow, that Zale is so good on White Mane, able to keep her safe alive, but Taiko actually went for a fight in the backside and then winds up getting caught into a weird position while Vin and Sun comes over and they turn around and get the picks there. That fight was all over the place, and it looks like Junkrat's intention is to use that Rocket Ride to get out of any Entombs coming their way, but Tychus was fully aware of it and hit him with a grenade right in the middle of the casting animation, and that's why he went down. But with it all said and done, Team UK comes out on top and they're able to start grabbing these minions, and they'll now be able to have a Punisher pushing in the bottom lane. This one's a frozen Punisher. They may intend to push with it and try to get some damage on top of that keep.
Now finally we have 13, but you're absolutely right. They are going to try and get the maximum out of this as they're pushing with the objectives through the bottom of the map. The problem really for Sweden was that they just didn't have level 13 talents in that fight. It's a huge disadvantage for them. They have massive amounts of damage now coming from Tychus, for example, who has a very, very solid number of stacks now on level 4. But it's a hugely problematic fight for them. Again, Alarak with a play. They're trying to go for Tychus. And here comes the Rocket Ride! Oh, good damage on Jaina, but not enough to get a kill.
Heals are coming in at the last second, and we're good to go. Mr. Tycho finally turns around and works on the punter. So luckily, all that they lost was the keep wall, and the keep does stand quite well on full HP. But that 2-level disadvantage is starting to really become a major issue, and I imagine 16 will be up and available for Team UK on the next shrine. So you might want to see the red team look for a fight here, and they're going to need Time Bullet to step up and find an Entomb. It'll be up in about 12 seconds, and I wonder where that location is going to be for them. It could be on the minion camps to the south side. There is one here on the far right for those east camp, and one to the very bottom. In fact, Cascon thinks that might be a possible fight area too, and holds down the bush.
They also have a lot more experience in minion XP alone for the blue team, so they're doing better in their rotations, not even talking passive experience where they're ahead by 3,500 and trying to drop the last 4 in the middle. Here comes the Entomb, could go for the bunker and does to counteract that, so they're just exchanging cooldowns, which is basically a win for Leoric, but it's not a massive one for Blaze either, but that's going to cost him another minute until it's back. Either way, drill for defense. A little bit too aggressive from positioning. Blessed Shield missing. Cascon looking for the engage, but can't find it. They are still able to push for the fort, and they're dropping it.
Tycho taking some poke and will back away. Where are the stacks are for Not Nano right now? Let me have a look here. 29 currently for him. Okay, so after his death did reset. So he's back to where he was earlier. And that 16.5 is going to be a pretty decent window for our blue team. They step up and start to look at this keep. Dahaka is in the top lane, building up his essence and trying to soak up that 16. But man, you can just see the firepower right now. It's too good for Team UK. They can't keep anyone alive.
Tychus, he's still in play. At least, but they're taking so much damage on every structure. We have the blue team just sieging up over and over again. These guys are moving in and are just dropping one hero after another, and even if they can't get the kills, they push them back enough that they have access to the structures and can start destroying them. And somehow Sweden needs to deal with it. They're trying to force the fight again. Starzak is a little bit low. Maybe now the opportunity to get another kill. In comes the Rocket Ride. Can't decide who to go for, and finally settles on Tychus. They go for the Haka, and that should be the end of the keep at the bottom of the map. Team UK, once again, just clear-headed in the team fight, in with better coordination.
And they have all 5 members up and available, and Decker Kane will definitely get everyone nice and healed up, especially with those giant potions being available. So they will try to get a kill there on top of the Orc, and they finally get it with the shield glare. There goes the keep down to underneath 1/5 of its HP, and finally wiped up. So one keep down on the bottom, that'll get some catapult pressure, and look at this timing. A shrine now activated to the very north side of the map. Junkrat has already pushed that way forward, and this should be a free pickup for Team UK. In fact, you see Blaze heading down the bottom to grab the mercenary camps. They can do whatever they want right now. They're so far ahead of Team Sweden.
Yeah, it's crazy. They have more than a 2-level lead now. Also, the damage from Alarak, his progress on his level 4 slowed down a little bit, but he still is above 30 stacks now. 45,000 damage puts him into the top damage of the game. Tigers with good stacks too, but they're just having problems getting those kills that they need. And of course, the biggest issue is you're so far behind that you are basically always trailing. They have, for the next fight, probably even talents, but level 20 is in reach for Team UK. They could even slow this down. They could go to 39 stacks and just try and slow this down a little bit and see if they can get extra experience on the lanes. Most of them are already pushed out, so if they decide against it, they can just go for it here.
Oh no.
But how is the team going to stop this? And the answer is, it doesn't look like they are. They lose white main instead of getting a kill themselves.
This is when you understand the macro and what the opposing team needs to do to make a comeback. When you're at this substantial of a lead and you know what they have to do in order for them to be able to get a fight or a Hail Mary to happen, you can predict it and go for the engage. Immediate deletion here. Ooh, we do lose out on Johanna. She gets picked off there from the turret.
I'm sorry.
Getting more kills.
That bunker was awesome. Jojo is about to die, and the shot is already flying, and Blaze, who's like half a screen away, is like, I gotcha, and drops that random bunker that does nothing. But hey, it's the thought that counts. I appreciate the thought behind it.
Well, I'm thinking if you want an extra thought here, is this game is potentially over as this Punisher starts to walk towards this core. Now, Leoric is back, and there is a Jaina on the way, so defense is going to be the name of the game for Team Sweden. Core begins to take some damage. Everyone sets up around it. This Keep also on the left and the middle here is doing a good job of helping out the defense, and let's see if there's any way Sweden can hold this here. It is a 5v4, and the Entomb does miss out as Alaric is able to telekinesis, but they have bought time for now.
They are not giving up. You gotta give them that. Sweden, this is a tough bunch of meatballs that we got over on the right side. These boys, they are fighting tooth and nail to try and get back into this game. We have level 20 talents for the blue team. It's still a 2-level gap between them. A little bit more than that, just experience-wise, but for just talent purposes, we have 2 levels that need to be bridged by the red team until they are on level 20. And, you know, once they hit that, Buried Alive might give them some opportunities to get kills. Maybe, I mean, it's going to be tough one way or another. And honestly, I don't think the blue team is going to be willing to wait this long.
I mean, they're going to take the third keep here, too, which is going to give another lane of catapult pressure. And if they don't really find an angle, they could just go for the next Punisher and then game that way. But for now, they are keeping their lead and moving forward. Entomb does miss out. It'll be down for a bit. Laser's coming up in about 5 seconds. Leoric trying to stay alive. Down to half HP already. Goes over and starts to set up defense. Digger King comes up with a stay a while. Listen, he wants to tell a story here, but no one really listens to it. It falls on deaf ears. Same time, Dahaka pops his essence and turns around. He has a tongue available for him. Can they find anything here to pick up? Alaric would be a juicy target. Leoric goes forward with the creepy hand and does miss it, and now they gotta back away, Khaldor.
They go for time bullet. They drop Leo immediately. Stars also low. They're still attempting to defend the drill on the ground, but with 14 kills to 5, we now have UK going for the victory here. They want the 2-0. They want to secure the chance to still do well in this group and advance to the next stage of the tournament, and they are laying the groundwork here. They go up against Sweden, and they're taking it on Infernal Shrines. Team UK, they're taking 2 maps in a row and defeat Team Sweden on Infernal Shrines. GG.
Well,